I know.
Hello
I know. Hello, everyone. Welcome to No Drama, Just Movies, and welcome to Oscars 2025 season here on our channel, where each and every week we are taking all of the movies that are being rumored and talked about to be nominated in the Oscars as we build up to the live ceremony itself in March. Once again, we are No Drama, Just Movies, and we are here with a movie review. My name is Cameron. I know Kelly Smith, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague here.
You took my joke.
What was yours?
I'm still gonna fucking go with it. I'm Phil Corwin.
Well, if you haven't guessed it by now, and you may not have, we are here to review none other than A Complete Unknown. This is co-written and directed by the one and only James Mangold, of course, starring the biggest young actor in the game right now, that being Timothée Chalamet, playing none other than Bob Dylan. If you didn't know, this is a biopic based on Bob Dylan's life. So let's just get right into it. And I want to start off with this because this is the question that came to me after watching the movie, right? I'm a big biopic fan, love a biopic. I think you're a big biopic fan as well. We both enjoy a good biopic. Um, what is the point of a biopic? Right? Like that was the question that came to my mind. And, some of the things I had written down here is whether, you want to tell a new side of a story that maybe you didn't know in regards to a person's life, to inform the masses about, maybe details they didn't know already, delve into the person, set things straight, blah, blah, blah. And the reason why I bring up that question, what is the point of a biopic, is because I was trying to, in my mind, go like, did this movie achieve or tick the boxes of the criteria that I hold as to what a biopic should set out to do or what it usually sets out to do? And that is where I can't give a direct yes or no answer. And I don't want to make it seem like I didn't enjoy this movie, because I did enjoy this movie. It's just it's a mystery, and we talked about this after watching it, because the big question mark here is, and we'll delve into it, is that if you're not familiar with Bob Dylan, and I'm not, I knew of Bob Dylan, but I don't know really anything about him. I never listened to his music, just someone you'd always hear about. For people who aren't familiar with Bob Dylan, does this make you more familiar with him? Does this get you more acquainted with him? And I think that answer is in the black and white. And but straight on over to you, like, as a biopic, did this tick off, the boxes of criteria that you kind of hold usually for biopics, or what you'd like to see in one?
I don't think so. Um, Although I have to shout out Better Man, because I think I've been ruined, like biopics have been ruined by that film for me, because it's such an amazing biopic. Like it really goes into what made Robbie Williams, and it goes into like the darkness of it as well. This one, to come back to this one right away. I I still don't know. I knew a little bit about Bob Dylan, but he's I guess famously very closed off and like not very uh honest about his own life. Um
I mean, that makes sense after watching the movie. I mean, you about continue. Sorry.
and I guess yeah, it's hard to like capture someone who doesn't want to be captured. Tell the life story of someone who doesn't want to reveal what actually happened. Um, so it for me it didn't really. There was not a lot of information about what made Bob Dylan tick or makes Bob Dylan tick. He's still alive somewhere. Um, so it felt more like a concert film or like a music film, or like rather music videos stitched together by a little bit of a story. But I think it lacked a lot of plot and just what it was about. And therefore also like character reveal, because like I think he barely had to make any choices, barely had to like do anything in the film. So it didn't show us who he was by what he was doing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned something that I think important. You said, capturing someone who, doesn't want to be captured.
Hmm.
Um, and we might have to keep that for the title of this video. However, the reason why I think that's interesting is because I'm so it's so annoying to me because in a good and bad way, because I'm so intrigued about this human being in
Hmm.
a sense where you want to know why he is the way he is, why he thinks the way he is. He does come across as somebody who has something inside him that he wants to really make known, or he wants to really delve into, or have us see, but it never truly reveals itself to you. He never truly opens himself up and actually really talks about what's going on, why he acts the way he does, why he feels the way he does, why he behaves the way he does. And don't get me wrong, I think that there's at times when you hear him performing certain songs and you're listening vaguely to some of the lyrics and you go, okay, there might be an inkling in there. And I'm sure there is, for people who are fans of Bob Dylan's music. I'd imagine within those lyrics, there might be a bit more of a inkling or idea, maybe into who this man is, maybe, or maybe not, or maybe that's even more of a mystery. But that's the thing that's intriguing to me. He does come across in this movie, at least, as somebody where you never truly peel back the layers. You never
Hmm.
truly get there. There's different parts. There's a couple scenes in this movie, where they do allude to his his childhood, his upbringing, him talking about how he was in the carnival and people taught him how to play, and how his and how his actual surname wasn't Dylan. And there's these little pieces here that kind of make you go like, where is this guy from? What is it that's on his mind? What is he trying to do? Why does he choose to express himself if he is expressing himself through music? Like, what? Who is this guy? And
Hmm.
I think that's the main question I had coming out of this movie. And don't get me wrong, I'm still very intrigued. I just think that it's a huge shame that we never found out who he was.
Yeah, I think like going back to this idea of what is a biopic or what is it a biopic supposed to do? Um, there's the one question of, well, it's supposed to like tell you who this person is and what shaped this person. Like I mentioned, um, did I mention? No, that was before. James Mangold did the biopic for Johnny Cash, right? Walk the Line, and we got to see like what drove him to be so sad and we didn't get that here. We didn't get young Bobby Zimmerman. I don't know, doing his thing and learning how to love folk music and why he wants to go to New York to meet Woody Guthrie and like there's no hint of what shaped him as much. Um, and then the other thing is, which is kind of how the film was sold, I think. This idea of here's a like an important moment in that character's in that person's life, and we'll see how he got to that moment, what made him, uh, you know, that certain. First, we can cut that.
I got you though.
But and in this one, it's going electric, right? And kind of becoming the traitor to the folk, to his folk roots, and his fans. And like, why did he do that? I thought they would explore a little bit more of like his, I guess, in his ambition to become something else, something that something more than what people wanted him to be. There was a hint of that, I think, in some of the lines of dialogue, but I think they could have done more with that and like why he wants to go against the grain and like break out of that box and why that's so important to him. That he is willing to like betray this whole folk thing. Um, and also like why that means so much to people. that he suddenly went electric. Like we see them all chucking stuff at him when he's on stage, but he keeps playing. Why does he keep playing? Why is he so standoffish in that point? And what is the betrayal actually? I don't think we got that sense. We got neither of these things for a biopic. So
Well, I guess one of the biggest clues that we get, like, is towards the very end of the movie, after that final show, where he is approached by Joan, and Joan approaches Bob and says, you won, you achieved the one thing that none of us did, and that's freedom. And I guess that is the biggest clue in terms of maybe what he was looking for, this idea of being able to free himself and not be confined to a specific genre of music, but that potentially being used as a message for maybe how he felt as well. And I'm guessing here, I'm just assuming based on how he came across in the movie, that he ultimately was looking for freedom. He was looking to truly just break free in a way. However,
we never saw the constraint, did we? Or did I miss that?
But that's the thing. That's the thing, but that's also the interesting thing in the sense where what internally was going on, that potentially made him want to or feel like he needed that sense of breaking free. Because I do personally believe, and this is an assumption, that he was looking for some way to break free, not just with music, but internally. That's an assumption, and that's just an assumption based on how he came across in this movie. Obviously, I don't know for sure, but that's my assessment. But you want to add anything onto that before I ask you another question?
Oh, no.
Next. Oh, well, I mean, straight on in terms of, Timothée. I mean, Timothée Chalamet, obviously the hottest young rising actor in the game right now. Like, he's been on that momentum for years. It's only going to continue. He's here to stay. This seemingly will be another, Oscar nomination in one Timothée Chalamet's mantle. Whether he wins or not, obviously we will see. However, I mean, this is a performance that a lot of people have been talking about. He got a SAG Award nomination as well. I mean, what did you think of his performance in general? I know when we reviewed, something like A Real Pain, and we also reviewed Queer. We talked about, for example, with the Queer review. Obviously, the link for that will be below or in a playlist somewhere. But we talked about, is this performance? Would you say that this is an Oscar-winning or nominated performance? And I know that's a difficult question to answer, but with this, I mean, what did you think of the performance in general from Timothée here?
It's hard because, again, I don't think he had a lot to play with. Most of his performance are the songs, and it's amazing to see him play the guitar and sing like he sounds amazing. Doing Bob Dylan to a point where it's like sometimes hard to distinguish, I guess. I think for me that is the performance, and it is a great performance, I think. But acting, what the speaking dialogue, it's like he's awesome, like in everything he does. I love him as an actor, and I watch everything he is in. But again, he didn't have a lot to do or nothing that would make him stand out.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think I would say that is a good performance, and I do want to say that. And this is going to sound, kind of ironic, but I actually do think that is quite a captivating performance. And the reason why I say that is because every time he is on screen, you do listen, and he does draw you in, and he is fun to just watch.
But however, is that the songs or?
No, I mean, actually, when he's not performing, because to me, personally speaking, even though, he does a great performance with the songs, because I think that goes partly to the music, like folk music isn't really my thing. When he was performing the songs, not to say I didn't care, but it wasn't really like something I was heavily invested in. But when he's not performing and you're just seeing him navigating the world and interacting with people, those are the parts I actually enjoyed the most, because I felt like they were really captivating for me, and they did make me, I was so intrigued. I think that if this is indeed how Bob Dylan was, I think that he has embodied him tremendously well. Obviously, I don't know specifically, but he was very captivating to watch, and I did
Yeah.
appreciate that. Obviously, for anyone who did pick up on it at the beginning of this video, when we said our full names, obviously we each had a little gag, and that does unfortunately go to intentionally or unintentionally one of the negatives of Timothy's performance, but there's an asterisk on that, which is a lot of it is inaudible. And I say a lot of it, it's not a lot of it. Some of it is inaudible. Some words, some sentences, and I don't know if that's because that's how Bob actually spoke.
I think,
Apparently, you said that that was accurate.
Yeah.
However,
Well,
and not to give Timothy an acting lesson because I'm in no position to do so at all. However, as we alluded to on a previous review, myself and Phil used to be good old budding actors who had training. And one of the things you do have to do is still find a way to be audible, even if the person isn't very audible. I think it's still your job to do what you can. But I know it's tough. But some of the things weren't audible, and that was a bit difficult and a bit annoying. Like I did see before we actually. I was going to say before we actually saw this, I remember that on the listings there was one that was a subtitled showing that we would have gone to if we did see it yesterday. And now I'm thinking to myself, you know what? That wouldn't have been the worst idea. But go ahead.
But you get that nowadays, where like actors are a bit more natural, I suppose, so they don't try to enunciate every single word. So you do get a lot of performances right now, or have been for a while, where you don't exactly understand every word. I guess that's just normal. And from what I know about Bob Dylan, what I've heard about Bob Dylan, he does have a little bit of a mumbly kind of voice that is slightly harder to understand, which is where all the the jokes are coming from. So I think that's just his performance. I don't think that was a mistake. I think that's just how he decided to do it.
Final thing I want to mention before we go home here, James Mangold. Obviously, huge shout out to James Mangold. I love James Mangold, right? And I will forever love him from the very moment I saw Logan and realized the Oscar winner it should have been. However, obviously, after that, we got Ford v Ferrari, I believe it was, from James Mangold. And then after that, Indiana Jones. Now, this, The Complete Unknown.
About that one.
I think if we're doing a scoring system, it kind of seems to be two good ones followed by two okay-ish ones. James, I still think is one of the best directors in the game. And so I hope that, we still continue to get greatness from him. Obviously, he was the guy, if I'm not mistaken, that had been tapped to do that Star Wars movie about the origins of one of the first Jedis or something like that. This biblical tale. Still very interested in that, and so I look forward to see what he does there. I mean, what's your thoughts on James moving forward?
It was okay. Like, it wasn't his best. It was nicely shot. Like, I loved what it looked like, and again, like, for what they were, the performances were really good. And like I said before, it felt like a music video, many music videos stuck together, and those were great. Like, we haven't mentioned the other two, I guess, three. Monica Barbaro as Joan Baez, and Elle Fanning as Sylvie. Both did a great job as well, I think. Our man Edward Norton as well. So that, like, the cast was really good, and I think part of that is like just James Mangold handling that quite well. So yeah, it's just a story, I think. Bit of a letdown.
Yep. And I mean, with that, we roll straight on into our review scoring for A Complete Unknown. So how many ICs out of 10 are you going to give A Complete Unknown? How many ICs out of 10? The ball's in your court.
I'm sorry. I wanted to love this film. I was really looking forward to it. This is one of the films that I was most looking forward to, I think. Because Bob Dylan, Timothée Chalamet, James Mangold. But 6 out of 10. I have to, because like it was boring at first, like for quite a while, because there was just nothing really there apart from the songs, and the songs are great, but It only became a little bit more interesting towards the end, or like from 1965. So yeah, it's already say 6 out of 10 ices from me.
And I'm going to follow up with 6.5 ICs out of 10 for me. The only reason for the point 0.5 is because I did enjoy Timothy's performance and I did enjoy the mystique of this character. However, that's not enough to make a great movie. So I'm going to go with 6.5 ICs out of 10. So you're going with 6 ICs out of 10. I'm going with 6.5 ICs out of 10. And that will do it for our review of A Complete Unknown. Once again, we are No Drama, Just Movies. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Jump down in that comment section below. Let us know your thoughts if you have seen this movie. Please like, comment, share, do the full shebang, and please support our channel. My name is Cameron. Kelly Smith, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague here.
Phil Cohen.
And that's it. If you can't hear us, I'm sorry. That's all we can say.
We should
Once
have done
again,
the
we are
whole
no.
thing just in a Bob Dylan imitation.
Yeah, or in the subtitles. Luckily, YouTube do open captions. We are No Drama, Just Movies. Thank you very much for checking out our review today, guys, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care, guys.
Bye.